Hey there, welcome to day 1120 of What You Up To Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world of business. And the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs, the highs, the lows, the what works, the what doesn't work, or what works for me and what hasn't worked for me. And, just sharing some of the lessons that I've learned along this journey. So today I'm thinking about the importance of being prepared. Why? Because unlike most days, and I didn't start out this way with my content creation and when I was doing videos and daily content and things, I would just hop on and I would talk about what I was going to talk about, and I didn't prepare. But in 2020, I started actually looking at the topics I was going to talk about the next day, the next morning, because I do my videos early in the morning, the night before. So the night before, I would figure out what was my I do an annual challenge every year. So last year it was do one fun thing every day. So I didn't usually, this is an interesting realization of my own process. For that particular segment, I didn't prepare. I didn't do anything to prepare, and I still don't. This year I'm doing one thing every day that centers me, and I don't look at this the night ahead. I do it the morning. It's the first video I do every day, and I started doing it 3+ years ago. This is my 4th annual challenge to warm up my voice so that when I start talking, I don't know about you, but when I get out of bed, ever since I was about 2 or 3 years old, I sound like gravel Gertie. I had tonsillitis and laryngitis and a lot of throat issues when I was a little girl. And so from all the medications and the antibiotics and things, and just from the irritation of my throat, I have had a really, I consider it a gravel Gertie voice. My family used to tease me that I sounded like a pirate. Not very nice, but true. So I learned to just embrace, hey, this is my voice. It is what it is. But for that segment, I didn't prepare, never have. And part of it was because the first one was to do one thing every day that scares you, to stretch your comfort zone. And I didn't want to give myself advance warning on what that was going to be. Then I would share it, and then I would have to go do the homework and then come back and share the results if what I learned from that. And just at the end of the year, I did, okay, this is all the things I've learned by doing this challenge every day to do one thing to get me out of my comfort zone, to stretch my comfort zone. And then it was do one thing every day. I can't remember what the next one was. I want to say it wasn't love. Happy. Do one thing every day that makes you happy. And then last year was do one fun thing every day. And this year's do one thing every day that centers you. So this one, my process is I don't prepare. I don't plan for it. I just read it, share it, and do it first thing in the morning, because it's the first thing I do. It kind of wakes my brain up. So I guess that is my preparation, is I have this as a tool to wake my brain and my voice up every day and get going. But I do a segment for my Supersize Your Business group and page that is about an idiom or an expression, and can you use that in your business? What does it mean, where did it come from, and how can you use that in your business? Well, today, for some reason last night, I didn't prepare. I've actually, it's interesting because I mapped out the first 100 days of 2021 what I was going to do. Instead of just going through and picking random proverbs or random idioms, I was going to do like 100 proverbs, 100 most popular proverbs. Well, it turns out some of these proverbs I did in the last year or two as I was sharing an idiom a day, because idioms and proverbs are kind of the same thing. Proverbs tend to be idioms. So I ran across today's, and it's all's fair in love and war. And I knew last night that I'd done it before, but instead of looking it up, looking at the video I'd done before, finding out when I had done it before in the last, I don't know, I think I've done, I don't remember, 600, 700, 800, and 900 idioms. And so I knew it was probably in there because it's so familiar. And lo and behold, it was. I just did it December 5th. And so I got busy doing stuff yesterday, and I didn't prepare last night. So this morning I'm like, geez, I just feel off. I looked up and I knew what I was going to talk about for the Get Up and Go Challenge. Get Up and Go Challenge, I share the lesson. I'm teaching people how to incorporate the SOAP framework into their subconscious. And so I do it for each of the different areas and aspects of our life. I break it down for 4 days for the 3 main areas and aspects of our life that people tend to have the most challenges and struggles with. And then for the other 4 aspects, I just do it all in one day. I share the SOAP framework. So I did that. I prepared for that yesterday. But for some reason, I totally overlooked preparing for the idiom. And so I cheated this morning and I watched the last video and I'm like, well, geez, I kind of feel the same way. Maybe I'll just share that same video. And I decided against that. And I thought, no, I'll just make another video. And it was probably, and I haven't listened to it yet because I haven't processed my videos, but I got a feeling it was probably one of the worst videos I've ever made. Now, this is me judging without listening to it, but it just was like tripping over my tongue. I didn't have good examples thought of. I didn't have a story. And I just felt off about it. And it reminded me of the importance of continually improving and setting up processes and systems and structures that work for us. So for me, last year went so much smoother because of me simply planning and doing a few minutes of, and you know, it's like, I'm not talking planning, I'm talking 10 minutes of preparation the night before, because then I know what I'm going to talk about, and then I let my subconscious work on it all night long, and that always gives me better results in the morning than when I don't think about it. Last night, I didn't do that. I didn't follow that process, and so I felt less prepared than I like to when it comes to doing things like this. And so lesson learned for me, big fat lesson learned, is do what you know works for you and be prepared. Don't just blow it off and not do what you know you need to do. Why? Being prepared, pre-planning, and I pre-plan everything, right? That's why it's so funny that for some reason I just didn't do it yesterday. And maybe it was because I needed to test the systems that I'm using and remind myself that they really do work for me, so to continue to do them. So that it's just, we're always learning about ourselves, right? We're always getting better and improving and realizing that sometimes we think we're doing things just out of habit, but those habits are really for us and in our own best interest. So I'm going to remember to pre-plan because it makes me feel better. It makes me think I'm doing a better job. And the truth is, every time I turn off a video and press finish, the first thought in my head is, oh my God, that's the worst video I've ever done in my life. Why did I do that? And I'm waiting for the day. I'm actually waiting for the day when I don't think that. And when I just do a video and I don't think anything at all. I just do it and I'm done. I don't know if that day will ever come. I hope it will, but it's really interesting that I still feel that way after literally thousands of videos. In the last 3 years, I've done, I guess I've got on my podcast 4,000 and let's just take a peek, 4,073 as of yesterday. And I think I lost some early on, and these are just on Libsyn. I didn't use Libsyn initially when I started doing podcasts and daily videos. So we're talking thousands I've done. So if I still click and say, oh, that was horrible, how many is it going to take before I just don't feel that way anymore? I'm actually looking forward to that day. So what's going on? All's fair in love and war was our supersize your business idiom and expression and proverb today. One that I personally have a lot of feelings about because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. It's an absolute lie that we tell ourselves when we break our own rules of behavior, when we decide that we can cheat or lie or steal or do something unethical or evil or immoral. When we give ourselves permission to do that, we use excuses, right? And the excuse, to me, all's fair in love and war is a huge excuse. Oh, and people will say it's a reason. Well, guess what? Excuses are reasons. Reasons are excuses. They're kind of interchangeable, right? When we answer the question why, we think we have a good reason or a good excuse, but if we do something that goes against our core values and who we really are, it still feels off to us and we know it isn't the right thing to do. Will we still do it because we're human? Absolutely, positively. We make excuses all the time. I make excuses as to why I didn't pre-plan last night and do my work. I don't know what they are because I can't remember right now, but I'm sure I had some reason or some excuse for not getting it done last night. Or you know, I could say I just forgot, but I don't really ever just forget something like that. I purposely put my books and stuff aside and decided not to do my usual process on them. Again, lessons learned. Life is all about learning the lessons that we need to learn at the time that we learn them. Everything that happens, we like to get all philosophical and stuff and say, and everything happens for a reason, but it actually really does. Everything happens to show us something. We might not want to see, or might not like what we see, but it happens to show us the thing that we need to see at the time we need to see it. As hard a lesson as that is, as hard a reality or shocker or truth as that is, we actually really do. It's like all of the people that come in and out of our lives. They come in and out of our lives for a reason. They come in and out of our lives to show us something. Now, some people might come into our life that cause us a lot of pain and a lot of nonsense, a lot of hurt feelings, but they're here to show us something. There's some reason we need to see those things. And maybe it's just that we need to prove to ourselves and realize once and for all that we are stronger and able to handle whatever life dishes out to us. We've got this. I like to think that my pain over my lifetime has been because of that. I've had chronic pain since my 20s, and probably earlier than that, but I didn't know what it was. And I think that my pain is to show me that no matter what's going on, I am bigger than my pain. I'm bigger than the things that happen to me. I'm bigger than the things that happen around me. I can get through all of it. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that. If I'm down 3 days for a migraine, it doesn't feel like my pain is there to show me something, but it's always there to show me something. And it's when I look for that and I see the thing that I'm supposed to see, that the pain subsides and goes away. It's really an interesting phenomenon, and I think our life is that way as well. All right, enough pontificating. I have things to do so I can prepare myself for tomorrow and the other things I'm working on and the things to come. Have an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, any questions about online, offline businesses that you don't really have anyone else to ask, go ahead and ask. Again, I say I might not know the answer, but I probably know somebody or something or a resource or a tool that can absolutely help you get the next thing that you need to do. One of the most frustrating things about my life has been believing that I didn't know what to do next, or that I didn't know what to do. And the truth is, we always know what to do. We just don't necessarily believe in ourselves that we know the next thing to do. There's always the next thing. And we don't have to do the next 20 things. We only have to do the next one thing. The next thing is the only thing we ever have to do and worry about. The thing we need to do right now is the only thing we really need to be concerned about. And then we'll get results or consequences from that. And then we'll know what the next thing after that is to do. But so often we think we have to plan out everything. And I'm a planner, but I plan. And I know, and it's kind of a fun end of the year game, and actually do 12-week years or 90-day rock pushes is how I plan and work my life. But it's really fun for me at the end of each of those 90-day increments and at the end of the annual year to look at what I planned and what actually happened, what my goal was and what I actually achieved, leaving it open-ended, knowing that I'm always going to let things be far bigger, far better, far faster than I could have ever planned for. And so I leave myself open to other possibilities, and that it continually delights me every year, year in and year out. I find that what I plan and what actually happens is always so much more, so much better, so much faster and easier than I ever planned out the detailed workings of how things should happen. It lets me know that there's something beyond me that has more control over things than I do. All right, have a great day. I'll be with you tomorrow.